Greetings everyone, hello and a warm welcome to you all. This is your July reading with me. Guys, we are going to be using 2 decks this month. You'll all be a bit excited about that because we get the Rider-Waite and the Morgan Greer decks combined. The card from the Morgan Greer will be the leading deck, and then the Rider-Waite card will be clarifying the energy and the message they want to get across. So Libra, this is your reading. Let's just shuffle a little bit more and see what's in store for you guys for July. That was a jumper. So he would have been the top card anyhow, but he certainly wants to get his message heard. So we will put that there. We're starting off with the 5 of Wands. You had another jumper. I don't get many jumpers, so I'm always quite... So I don't usually get jumpers, and it actually jumped itself upside down, and we have the reversed Ace of Swords to start as well. So let me just put this deck back down here and let's start with your reading. So 2 jumpers, that in itself is really interesting. So there's something here about this message being quite important and tangible and maybe pertinent for you to listen to. So the 5 of Wands is often considered a card whereby tensions are in the air. And these can be tensions with other people, so not just yourself. There could be 5 people involved, or the number 5 could be relative here. So this can mean you feel as though there's aggression or arguments around a matter or a topic. This can be at work because we're talking here the creative sector and realm. It could be just within relationships as well. But whatever the feeling here, it's a feeling of like everyone putting a 2 cents worth in and stirring up the energy and mucking things up, and there's no clear course. It's like there's interjections and there are too many offerings, so nobody knows quite which way to go or what to do within the situation. Now, seeing the reversed Ace of Swords, an ace is usually a good sign, so it's not a really negative thing, but the fact that it's reversed could point to the fact that if you are not careful about the words you use, because this is the ace of communication and thinking and words, if you're not careful with those words that you use, you could create more flux around this situation, and it could go to a more negative position. So you need to be very careful with your intellectual input and how you phrase things if this type of situation crops up. So think about it around work or around your particular creative resource zone. So if you're a writer or a composer or you've got some sort of creative business going on, you might want to think about this type of area as well. It could involve clients or workmates, and it'll be very integral as to how you handle the situation with your communication from your end. And I think that's the major 2 messages there as we move into July with those 2 cards. So let's see what the next 2 are. A major arcana, she is the Empress, number 3. She is about fertility and harvest time, so feeling warmth and nurturing, spending time outdoors in particular and being connected with the outdoors. This moon around the bottom is indicative of the new moon perhaps for July, or also the new ecliptical moon coming in August. So eclipses, energies are starting to revamp up again, and we all get affected by them at independent levels. Eclipses really are the hidden agenda or the hidden matter of our life. So let's see what the partner is for that card. And it's the 10 of Swords. So there's definitely a little bit of antsy energy going on around you guys at the very beginning of July with that reversed Ace of Swords and now the 10 of Swords. You know, we felt that little bit of aggression with that 5 of Wands, and now we're coming into this next kind of messages for the cards. So given that the Empress usually represents this lovely feeling of fertility and happiness and joy and pleasure, and she's got this moon at the bottom of her feet, there's a feeling that some of you may have this feeling as if it's not staying with you, as if it's moving on. This number 10 of Swords often represents the ending of a cycle. So perhaps some of you have this type of woman or energy in your life. It often is representative of a woman. And perhaps it's about something within that cycle finishing. So she also represents fertility and conception. So perhaps some of you who might have been trying for that, maybe the cycle is coming to an end and you might have missed this period for a while. You might have missed the opportunity for conception at this point in time. She could also be someone who exudes these qualities, who actually ends up leaving your life one way or another. She could be someone who you have really enjoyed spending time with. She's someone you look up to and that you feel this warm respite and nurturing around her, and she may be leaving. It could be for reasons she has to move, or perhaps the two of you are deciding to separate the relationship for one reason or another. It might come as a bit of a surprise or a wrench, is generally how this card feels. Some of you could feel that you had no idea this was coming and that you see it as almost like a betrayal. So it could also represent an older person in your life, either an older friend or an older family member who has news about the coming to the end of their life as well. So a little bit of uncertainty there with these two cards, but the juxtaposition of the two of them is so they're so far apart from each other that it's an interesting coupling. And yeah, we'll just have to play that one out. For each of you it will be a different perspective as well, so remember that. Let's look into the next two. Those two are more hand in hand. They've got that more, you know, kind of endings type feeling, and that feeling like, you know, it's a bit painful and you've got to move on. Remember too, with the 10 of Swords, there was always a new day coming. So this is about finding solace in knowing that when one door shuts, another one opens. And I think as we come towards this timing period of the eclipses in August, especially for the Northern Hemisphere, and actually especially for people living in America, because that's where the eclipse is actually taking full energy on the planet, there could be a lot of action and activity going on. So a lot of people in that northern part of the world are going to feel changes coming, and especially personal changes. So the Tower is often about understanding that situations were not right, they needed to be changed, the foundations of them weren't working anymore, and that we must make decisions to move forward and open the new doors. And sometimes this can come with a little bit of anxiety as well, because as humans we tend to rely on patterns and security, and change always means you lose the pattern and you lose the feeling of security. But let's see what this one's partner is. And that's actually really nice. That's a nicer set of cards to look at than the previous two. So this Page of Cups, the archetype energy, is about offerings of love. Now, so it's almost like the feeling that you lose this type of feeling of love connection here, but then you've got another one coming in. A younger, more youthful, exuberant energy coming in, and the offering of it. So whether or not, again, this is within families, this is new love coming, and it can be romantic, but remember, not all love is romantic. So you have family love, you have friends love, you have, you know, mates type love. So somewhere here you've got this changing dynamic with the Tower, this juxtaposition of energies, of foundations, of relationships, of workings and understandings, and then you've got this kind of person who's around, or the energy of new love to come in and offer support at the same time. So it feels as though you don't necessarily go through this alone, that there is something around you that is positive and light-filled, and offerings of support, nurture and love. So let's turn to the next card, and that really is beautiful. The star lifts any negativity within a reading. So any cards that might be a bit heavy or feel heavy, she exudes positivity, and she brings in galactical energy from your guardian angels in particular, other angels and spirit guides, and she offers this portal of opportunistic positivity. So what is her mate? And again, we're talking here about relationships and love. So I have a feeling a lot of these feelings of the type of sword energies for you guys have been involved in your relationship sector one way or another. And some of them would even involve the feelings of love, and whether that's romantic or family type related or friend love, it will be different for each individual. But bear in mind, the star, as I say, she offers this lovely positivity. She gives more shine and glow to situations. She brings more harmony in. And again, this is the offer of love coming to you. And it's almost like you don't see it, or you're unaware of it, or you're not looking for it. But it's there to offer you protection and support during this month of July. So I think they're saying to you, make sure you open your eyes if at any time you feel like you're struggling through something, or you don't know how to get from A to B, or you're not sure why a situation happened. You need to communicate and connect with someone else, and that will help give you the answers. So no man ever stands alone is a really good saying that's coming to mind. Also, just remember balance in this card. That's dietary balance in particular, the type of food you're eating. Do you get enough sleep and rest? And do you have enough hydration in your body? And also spending time outdoors. We see both of these cards here with the green grass and trees in the background. So I think for some of you, being outdoors is going to be an option in July, enjoying that type of energy and surrounding yourself in that beautiful warmth and love and connection that we get from Earth and her warmth and nurture. So that's another way of looking at the perspectives of the cards as well. Well, you've certainly pulled out some big major arcana cards, haven't you, Libra? So you now have the Lovers. Let's see what's going on over here. Okay. So the Lovers, of course, most people love to see it. It talks about love and chemistry. And you've kind of had this energy twice, because she also exudes it. The Empress and the Lovers give off very similar fertile, nubile type energies, and love and romance and sexual chemistry. So the Lovers is again bringing that out to you. It's around you. It almost feels like you've got some people you can trust in the month and some people you can't. And I think we started that with that Five of Wands. You know, if I go back to think again about another message of the Five of Wands, it often talks about the potential of suitors around you. And it can be many suitors who are interested in you. And you go, things are looking up here. You know, I can take my pick. I might pick this one or that one. Well, I think through the whole message of the reading, it says some of these people are not right for you, and you have to choose wisely. This card often means hidden agendas going on. So this Lovers card could mean that you are engaged in liaisons with someone that is possibly you're wanting to keep hidden or covert or secretive. It's like it's not out in the open. Sometimes this can mean an affair. So like a third party involved. Sometimes it means you have to make a choice about this relationship. And this choice can be whether you leave another relationship to join a new one, or whether you open up about any hidden secrets within the relationship, or whether you are just ready to take on new love because you might be feeling fragile, or you might not be ready to connect again really heavily with someone. And this one here is telling you, yeah, do your homework. Really think the strategies through. Think your reasoning through. Think what it is you're doing with this person, or how you're connecting with them. This can also be representative of new business opportunities as well. So sometimes these two cards, if they come together like this, someone could be coming to you with the proposition of a new business opportunity. And again, we had that a little bit as a parallel with those first two cards, you know, the upside down ace, the reversed ace, and that 5 of swords. It could have 5 of wands. It could have been about a business liaison, and this could be as well. You're swinging from one paradigm to the next within the reading. So I feel very strongly that for some of you it's love issues for the month, and others it's kind of business issues. This can be a very successful business that's coming, or the opportunity of creating one, but you've got to pick which person or which situation or which way you're creating this business. So do your homework, do your due diligence, whichever the perspective we're talking about. With regards to the lovers, it can be a soulmate, and it can mean fertility, so conception. So we had that feeling earlier of no conception, then later on we're getting the feeling of possible conception or fertility of ideas or pregnancy. You've got to really, it's quite a difficult reading to navigate, I have to say, Libra, because I think there's some really hidden stuff within the month going on. So let's see what else. Another major arcana, and this of course is your card, the Libran card energy. This is justice, and there feels like there had to be justice involved in this reading, like yeah, it feels as though it's under there somewhere and you have to dig to get to it. Let's see what her partner is. That's really nice, the 4 of Wands. Now, justice is a karmic card, so it's often about karmic issues in our life, and these can be very big events. So whether this is to do with your business or your creative passion or resources, or your personal relationship structures, when the karmic card turns up, it's dealing with past life issues that need to be addressed right now, and they need to be resolved in the best possible way. Usually when it turns up in your reading, it's favourable. It means that you are taking steps towards getting to the right place. So you need to think very logically about it. You need to do things legally and above board. It can also show up when a divorce or a separation is pending, and we sort of felt that feeling with that first card again. So sometimes some of you might be attending a legal issue in a court, like a dissolution of some sort of business or relationship status. That could be divorce or separation, or the final tying up of a business. It could have been the selling of business or assets, and this is the final procedure. It can also be litigation and resolution type issues that are being worked through. But because we see this 4 of Wands over here, this represents happiness and success. So it feels again as if it is going to come out okay for you guys. You've got a lot to work through to get there, but I think perseverance and knowing that it's a karmic soul debt is part and parcel of working this one through and really connecting with it at your very personal level to get these answers and dig deep and understand what you think fits your integrity values in particular. So if you don't feel right with something you're doing or someone you meet, so if you get that kind of like anxious feeling or panicked feeling, don't do it. Listen to your gut instincts and your inner values and know what's right for you and what's not. And I think this is very important for July. You know, you have the opportunity or the prospects of finding happiness and feeling harmony, especially within the home and the people who live in your home or your family. But it's up to you, the choices you make and the pathway you're going to do to get there for July. We'll do one more. Oh, I love that. You know, that's synchronicity. And I think that's another beautiful thing that you need to take into consideration in July. Look for synchronistic events and ideas when they come to you, because they often provide you with the answers that you're seeking. And they often help give you that clarity and connection to your divine source. So there you have the 2 4 of wands. So I just said to you, I firmly believe there's happiness here for you if you work through it properly and at your core values and at your integrity values, and then it comes. I almost don't want to finish and turn the next card over, because that's such a really lovely way to finish that reading. In fact, I am going to leave it there. So, you know, we started off with, yeah, they weren't bad cards, but they were very specific about getting themselves out there and wanting to start the monthly reading with that message. But you've ended up with this, and it's, you know, it's reiterated itself so strongly, like bang, bang. So yeah, guys, think carefully about how you are moving through the month, who you connect with, the type of liaisons that are going on, any covert or underneath stuff, any adjustments you need to make in your personal life, any losses that come by. It's all part of your soul's karmic journey, and so are the people who come into it. So hopefully you will be able to help make yourself the right choices for the month. And I do wish for you all a wonderful, happy, sunny ending like this, with plenty of love and support and nurture here. Also, just as a final input, these 2 cards can mean the moving of homes. So some of you will be shifting into a happier home environment, or even going overseas and staying in a lovely holiday type environment feeling as well. And that can also mean attending happy events like weddings, celebratory things, birthdays, engagements, christenings, whatever. So a nice, happy, positive vibe to end the month. So we'll put those away, and we will pull one final card for you. And this is going to be the 7th card down, because we're dealing with the 7th month. So this is for Libra. What's the final message? Oh, gosh. See? Rebirth. We had that come through quite clearly with some of these cards that you had in there. This is all about rebirth, fertility, rebirth of ideas, people. The star is about fertility as well, as is the Empress. And that's what I said to you, you know, look at this stack of cards and the messages that are there within. So, yeah, quite powerful reading. 16, of course, you can utilise the numbers 1, 6 and or 7, because 16 adds up to 7. And rebirth is very powerful. And again, we've got the blue colours. We talked about your communication at the very beginning, and the using of words and how powerful they can be. So this is also the area of the throat chakra on the body. So this could be something to do with your words and communication, or your throat zone. Some of you might need to have remedial healing work done on that area, or you might need to be careful of the words you use, or especially your thyroid is also in there, as well as throat viruses that might need attending to. We have this beautiful kind of orangey, pinky Merkaba energy. So that's that sacral part of the body, down where the creative zone is, where we get our passion and inspiration from. So structuring or strengthening that part of the body could be beneficial for you as well. But I think, you know, rebirth, when we saw the Tower and we saw the 10 of Swords, it's all about understanding that we let go to have something come back in, a new birth. And you also had those symbolic references with the Empress and the Lovers, the Star. They're all symbolic of birthing, of whether it's metaphysical or idealistic or physical. It's something quite major going on. So yeah, I think you have a really big month ahead. You have a lot to work through, but penultimately those two cards that finished it off were so positively sunny and full of glow that's what you should be focusing on with this rebirth at whatever level it is for you personally. So yeah, there you are, Libra, a big old reading and a big old month coming up in July for a lot of reasons. As I said, July and August will be both that way. So thank you all for tuning in and subbing and leaving your comments. I love to read them all. I wish you all the very best for a new you in July and August as we move through the year. So I will see you all for the following month's reading. Join me then. Take care, everyone. Have a happy sunny July. Much love. Namaste.